Hello everyone, welcome to RGBlink YouTube channel. This is Luke. This is another videos for streamZ, and we're gonna cover recording function and output captures of streamZ. And speaking of recording, all the recorded file will be stored inside streamZ. So you don't need to get another external storage devices or any SSD for recording. And of course, we offer different versions of streamZ that's installed with different size storage space. Okay, starting from the standard version of streamZ, which is 100 gigabytes for storage space, and we got 1 terabytes, 2 terabytes, and all the way up to maximum 16 terabytes. So depending on your workloads and how you want to do recordings, you can choose different version of streamZ that's with different storage size that best match your application and your usage of streamZ. Okay, so let's start with the recording functions. And so I got my streamZ here, okay, and with HDMI, one HDMI source and one USB camera. So this is the tiny Z, well, perfectly working with streamZ 4K AI tracking cameras. Okay, right here as my UVC inputs. Then let's go to my web page controls for the streamZ here. Okay, so I get 2 sources here, and one is my UVC cameras and my HDMI is from my main cameras. Okay. And first, let's check out these recording settings. So the streamZ, it does support iOS recordings for 2 channels. So out of 5 channels, you can record 2 channels simultaneously, and you can choose from one of 4 input sources: HDMI, UVC 1, 2, and your phone cameras. And or you can recording 2 channels of the 4 input sources. Or what I prefer to do is recording the program output plus one of the input channels, so as my backup and for the iOS recording source recording. So that's 2 channels, and you can set up the recording resolutions right here. And of course, the bit rate comes with it. Let's set it all the maximums. The bit rate at 20 megabits per second, and resolution at 4K 16. And one thing I want to mention here, the actual recorded files frame rate is based on your input sources frame rate. For example, my cameras, my UVC 1 source is actually running at 4K 30, so 30 frames per second. So the recorded file will be 30 FPS, 30 frames per second, even though we set it here to 4K 60. So we'll check the recorded file later. So the recorded file frame rate is actually depends on your input sources frame rate. Okay, they will match, of course. Okay, then after you have set it, remember, make sure you press save here, and let's go to my live to start recording. So my program output now is set to HDMI inputs, and let's see, we start recording. So right now it's recording both HDMI outputs as well as the UVC input as 2 channel iOS recordings, and it does show you the remaining recording time, how much time you can record with current recording settings process. And well, you can actually check out the storage status. I have a standard version of streamZ here with 100 gigabytes storage space, and I have done some recordings and before, so I have some around 70 gigabytes left. Okay, so that's how much time I can do recording with my current recording setting. Let's do a 1 minute recording and check out how much space and recording files specs, and then we can do a little math and find out how much time we can record with different storage space. Okay, let's stop recording here, and then go to my drive. You can access all the recording files or any other files with streamZ in the my drive. And let's go to streamZ file folder, recording, and you're gonna see this are those two files, we just did recording. The first one is the videos for HDMI outputs and the UVC input. You can see the file size. The UVC input channel is about half the size of HDMI, close to half. So let's check out why is that. We can download both file. Okay, simply download here, and let's go to storage here. Those are the two recording files I just did. Okay. Let's check out the timestamp here for the UVC inputs. Property. So details. Okay. So as mentioned, so it actually does record in 30 frames per second. So that matches my camera inputs, UVC cameras, the tiny Z inputs at 630. And let's check out my program outputs. It's this one folder. Okay. And the record is about the match to up to 50 frames per second, which match my camera's output frame rate, which is 50 frames per second. So that's recording files, and you can see the size and the bit rates there, depending on the frame rates. Okay, so let's do a little bit math. So if you are recording, so if you do recording 2 channels and all set to 4K 60, and you do have both channels inputs are running at 60 frames per second. So roughly it's gonna take, well, if you do have a standard version 100 gigabytes storage space, streamZ, that's gonna provide you about 5.5 hours for dual channel 4K 60 recording. So if you have, then that's, let's say if you do have 1 terabyte, that's about 630 hours recording of dual channel 4K 60 recording. So, well, if you scale down to 1080p 60, that's gonna quadruple your storage time, and it really depends on your file size and your. Anyway, the maximum you can have for the best quality recording is 5.5 hours for 100 gigabytes and around 650 hours for 1 terabyte. So based on that, you can put together how much workload you're gonna have, and you're gonna choose the storage size for your streams. Okay. So that's the recording we just did, and so remember, set up the recording settings and then go to my live, start recording, stop recording, and you're gonna check all the recording files at my drive and under streamZ and recording. It's gonna show you all the recording files with timestamp and labels with which channel you were recording. Okay. Then let's move on the capture functions. How we do capture. Okay. So it does right here. It does. We can see we do have a UVC output, which is the capture outputs from streamZ, and it's currently connected to my laptop. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna do the capture with OBS. Okay, so you're gonna open your OBS and you're gonna find the video capture devices, and then so from the drop down list of the device, you're gonna see the RGBlink HDMI 2.0 4K plus capture, and this will be your streamZ output capture. And then let's go down here. The resolution we can set it to custom, and then you can choose your resolution. So the maximum resolution capture with streamZ is 4K and 60 frame rates. So 4K 60, and of course, if 1080p is enough, you can do 1080p 60, and you can choose the video format up to RGB for the color space. Okay. So very easy. It works perfectly as a capture card. Bring your best resolutions, best color, and video quality of capture. Of course, you can use it with all other different softwares, BMX, or your streaming tool, or your meeting software. Okay, you can capture both videos and audio outputs from streamZ as your capture source as a webcam. Okay, so that's the two functions I want to cover for this videos. So we talked about the recordings and how to set up a recording and how much space it's going to take, and for 4K dual channels iOS recording for 4K 60, how much storage space you're gonna need with your workload. Okay? And of course, we just saw the capture output from streamZ. Okay, so that's all for today's this videos, and thank you for watching. And stay tuned at RGBlink channels, and we're gonna post more videos for streamZ. Okay, thank you and bye.